is our time.
Welcome back to another Pony Mag video. We're here today to talk to Dani Autumn and lovely Cooper the horse all about Western riding. So let's get started. So first things first, we're going to get Cooper all tacked up, but obviously there is a lot of differences between Western tack and English tack that we're more used to. So I'm going to ask Dani to talk us through all the similarities, differences and how we even get started. So Dani, over to you.
First of all, we're going to start with our pads. This is a show pad. So we'll use this for competition.
And does it have one layer, two
There's
layers?
this one, so the show pad is the fancy one.
Okay.
So it's a thinner, so I'm using this pad to make sure it's the same thickness that he needs for under his saddle. Now the saddles are very heavy and they are not one size fits all like everyone, or so like some people think, so have a feel of that.
Oh my god! That is so heavy. How do you get that up there?
So if you step back,
Yeah.
swing,
Wow.
and then gently place.
Oh, bless.
So yeah, this saddle is specially fitted to him. Same as English, I want to make sure this is nice and high. And I want to make sure it's nice and even.
Come and have a look at the beautiful details of this saddle, because that is so intricate and detailed. Look at that, that's stunning. All the way down to the stirrups as well.
You've got your tooling here, which will all be handmade. So this is a reining saddle. So one of our classes is reining. It means you've got a lot more manoeuvrability in your fenders. They're called fenders rather than stirrups. So the Western saddles compared to English saddles are designed for a deeper seat, so you can be more comfy if you're riding in them all day long, which you would be out on a ranch. You've got your horn, which will be used for putting ropes round, securing ropes, things like that. It's a bigger saddle, and that distributes the rider's weight over the horse's back, so that you can ride all day. We have a cinch rather than a girth, all tucked up.
Oh, wow.
Nicely there.
So interesting seeing what all of the little hooks and sort of pieces are for, because I would never think that that's for your for putting your cinch through.
Yes, so you've got straps here for a breastplate, you've got ones here for a back cinch. Some people use back cinch, which would stop the saddle lifting up if you were doing roping or cow work. He tends to do the slow work, Cooper, so we don't use a back cinch as often. If we were competing, got a little number holder there.
Yeah, lovely. Amazing.
There we go.
Wow, beautiful.
So with your Western bridles, this is a one-eared one, so this is designed to be worn with a curb bit. So a curb bit here is designed for a finished Western horse, one that has completely trained or very nearly completely trained, and it works on leverage. You wouldn't hold it like you would an English bit. We ride on a very loose rein, and we just use this. It helps with your neck reining, and this is a one-eared bridle.
And so talk us through just here how you're standing with Cooper. So he's obviously very well trained, and with an English horse you probably wouldn't just put the rope on the ground, because that probably wouldn't be very safe. So talk me through what he's doing here.
So Cooper is used to ground tying. He has been trained to stand still if the rope's touching the floor, and in the ranches in America and things like that, that would be useful if you needed to get off and attend to an animal, or open a gate, or fix a fence. Cooper is also very good. He is trained, even with no halter on, to stand still.
So how does the one ear part of the bridle work? Do you get like 2 ear bridles?
You can have 2 ear bridles, or just the one. Your brow band would stop it from falling backwards.
Yeah.
So if we have a snaffle bit in, then we do use one with a brow band.
Okay.
Otherwise, your bridle starts to slip out.
Yeah.
But with a curb bit, you don't need that.
Oh, interesting.
So it goes over the ear. Cooper also has head lowering. So if we want him to lower his head so that we can put our bridle on, then we can lower his head either from the rein pressure or pole pressure. And when you're riding, you can do that with your legs as well.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting.
So on this bridle, we've got split reins. So if we look, we've got 2 separate reins. We can put one on the floor if we want to ground tie, or we can use one to tie to a tree or something like that.
Yeah.
So when we get on in Western, we put our foot in the stirrup and we swing our leg over, and we're now on.
Would you be able to talk us through what you're wearing to ride? So I noticed you've got boots on, jeans on, spurs on. What kind of boots do you ride in?
So we ride in these lovely cowgirl boots that extend up our legs. And we also have these jeans to cover up this so that nothing gets caught on the saddle.
So the spurs in Western are used to pinpoint exactly what we want to do, to give a bit more refinement. So there's a difference if Autumn moves her leg back, that would move his back end round. If she moved her legs forward, that would move his front end round. Yeah, in the middle would be more of a side pass. So they're used a bit more refinement rather than forward motion.
Tell me how you're going to ride Cooper. So you can decide to either ride one-handed or two-handed, is that right?
Yes, we can. But now in Western Equestrian Society, if you have a curb bit, you have to ride one-handed now.
Okay.
And snaffle, you can ride one-handed or two-handed.
Okay. And so for the rein grip, how would you ride? Say you were riding two-handed, how would you hold the reins for two-handed?
So I'd hold the reins just like this. It's quite simple, maybe a bit further apart.
And then how would you change that for just riding one-handed?
So for one-handed, it gets quite different because you have to move the rein over this side and put your finger in between them.
Okay,
So you're holding like that.
one rein over your index, one under, and then the other two coming out the... So is it the two ends coming out the end of your hand?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's really interesting. And so do you always put your rein over to the right-hand side? Or is that preference as to which... Can you use different hands?
Yes, you can use different hands. So because I'm right-handed, I'm using my right hand, but left-handed people could use their left hand.
Amazing, yeah, because I'm left-handed, so I'd have to switch it over.
Sometimes people want to use the left hand so they could use their right hand for roping.
Ah,
So it's
okay.
very much preference.
Yeah, so and you can just switch between the two as you go.
In a class, you have to start with one hand and carry
And
on.
maintain.
But yeah, everyday
But
riding you can
for
switch.
leisure, yeah, okay, really interesting. And so, because your reins aren't connected at the bottom, what would happen if you dropped one of your reins?
So I have my reins like this, suddenly, and I dropped one of them.
Yeah.
It'd fall onto the floor like that.
And how would you be able to retrieve it? Would you have to just get off and re-get it?
Yes, I'd have to get off and re-get it. But a good way to prevent it is to put it round the horn.
Ah, that's exactly what it's for, isn't it?
Technically, with the Western horses, if the rein is on the floor, that should mean they're stopped
yeah.
and they're ground tied.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't panic or step on it. They would just stop.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to do with Autumn is ask Cooper to lower his head. So a little bit of squeeze and he can lower his head.
And why would you ask him to lower his head?
You want them to think about where they're going. You definitely don't want your head too low, but you do want them to be able to look at the ground,
Yeah.
think about what they're doing, concentrate if you were on a rough terrain.
Yeah.
If there was a cow, you want them to be concentrating on that cow.
Yeah. So is lowering their head more of a sort of tool to sort of ask them to, like, are you here? Are you listening? Lower your head.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Almost the equivalent of like picking up your reins and asking for a contact in English riding.
Yes. Yeah.
Lowering your head is the same as like, I'm here. Are you here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, so let's have a look at a walk. So in Western we've got sort of more pleasure paces, which is more about a pleasurable horse to ride, and those are slower paces, and then you've got more ranch paces. So Autumn, if you now show a ranch walk, you want to be ground covering. And the Western horses are designed to work all day. That's why you'll see when Cooper stops, he instantly relaxes, because he knows he might have many hours more work to do. If we pick up a jog, Autumn. So you've got, first of all, you've got more of a pleasure type jog. This is more of our showing jog. And it's designed to be comfortable for the rider all day long. If you look, Autumn's using neck craning, so she's riding one-handed, and she's using her reins to steer. So if you go to the right now, Autumn, she would lay that right rein. You look round the direction you want to go, and Cooper will change direction. So you come across in front of us again. Look where she wants to go, and he will steer. Then we want a bit more of a ranchy trot. So we still want our horses to be uphill, same as English riding, off the forehand. We still want them to be engaged and supple. And then go into extended jog. So we've got jog rather than your trot. And that is, yes, designed to be a little bit more comfortable, So extended jog, extended trot, sorry. So in your ranch, you've got extended trot. So Autumn's up off his back, out of the saddle. And Cooper should be extending his front legs. Okay, if you come back to regular jog. Oh, we're back to walk. Cooper is quite a lazy boy. So we've got lope rather than canter.
And so what are the key differences between a lope and a canter?
So a lope is generally slower. Cooper is going incredibly, so pushing forward. Designed not to use too much energy, so that again it can go all day. You're going to want to have your changes if you were working cattle, so that they can stay balanced while changing direction. You've got a relaxed head carriage. It should still be uphill. I think Autumn learnt to do flying changes on Cooper when she was about 8. And show us the stop, Autumn.
Wow.
So in a sand arena, the horses will slide to a stop, but on a sort of carpety surface, that's a little bit harder. But they should be able to stop and then completely relax, and then you should be able to get off, ground tie, go and fix whatever you need to fix, and get back on again.
So now I'm going to start by opening the gate. So this is a rope gate, and metaphorically there are cows that we're trying to keep out of this side of the fence. So we're going to open this up, keep the cows in, back up. Now we're going to go in. Cows still can't get out. And back them up. And now we've done a simple gate.
So we're going to have a look now at the log drag. So this might be if you were on a ranch and you wanted to move some fencing out the way that was on the floor, a tree that was blocking a path, something like that. So you're going to dally it, Autumn. So you're going to dally it round your horn, and that's going to take the weight of it.
Is dallying a sort of a knot round the
it's horn? A twist around the horn, okay. Twice. There we go. And you want to make sure that's long enough so that it doesn't hit the horse in the foot. Might want to let it out a little bit, Autumn. And then you can have a jog with that. Okay, so this is moving things off the trail that are in the way. This is where our horn comes in handy to take the weight. So if it was a really heavy log, your horn would be taking the weight rather than that. And you might use your lariat, your lasso to do that if you were out on the ranch. We're just using a rope today. Okay, and backing up. And then show us a spin if you can. Look where you want to go. So with a spin, the horse should keep its hind foot in one place, the inside hind still, and the front legs should cross over each other. And then we're going to look at a side pass, which again you want both sets of legs crossing over and the horse moving sideways. In our trail classes we do this over a pole. Want to go back to the right, Autumn, in a minute? So this manoeuvre is particularly useful if you want to open gates, move through tight spaces. And then show us a spin to the, I can't remember which way you've gone. Show us a spin to the right. So again, he should be keeping his weight relatively straight through his body. Good. Your neck rope. If you've got enough control over your horse, and especially if you've transitioned into that curb bit, ideally you shouldn't need your reins. Everything should be done off your seat.
Okay.
We've given Autumn a neck rein just purely for steering, but everything should be done off of her weight and looking where she's going. If she looks to the left, he should turn to the left. And if she goes to the right and looks to the right, he should turn to the right. The goal with Western is to develop this partnership with this highly trained horse, so that the horse can work sort of independently, so that a horse could work a cow independently from yourself, and the goals are built for sort of smoothness and comfort over long distances. And then show us some steering in the jog. See if you watch Cooper now, it should be relatively same as when he had a bridle on.
Wow.
The same, she's just stopping off her body weight, backing up. Side pass. Autumn spins better bridleless than she does with the bridle on. And the other way. But any time you sit back into neutral and say whoa, the horse will stop. Okay.
As you can see, I still have full control over her.
So we're now going to ground tie Cooper. So Autumn's just going to put one rein on the floor, and that means Cooper has to stay there. And this could be useful if you wanted to go and fix a fence or go and help an injured animal. So roping in competitions is normally done off the horse for youth riders, on the horse for an adult rider, but it's normally a stationary object. In the UK we can't rope cattle for welfare issues, so we tend to just rope. And you get points for hitting the object like that. You don't necessarily have to rope it. You'd get more points if you did rope it. And you get points for sorting out your rope as well. If you know correct rope handling, then you would get points for that as well. So creating a nice loop, spinning it over your head, sorting it out when there's an issue. There we go, you got it.
All the gear, no idea.
Yeah, look at that. And then I want to hold it here.
Yeah, and then so over your head, and then twist your hand round.
Like that.
Yes. Yeah, almost. Just twist. Do that. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Night out. That's where that move comes from, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
right?
like that.
Yeah? Alright. That also is the
Don't forget when you throw it, point that finger towards what you want to throw at. Look at it.
All the gear, no idea.
It just shows you make it look so much easier than it is. And then point to it.
You can't miss the block from there with the size of that.
Action.
Yeah.
So when you get to the top, turn your wrist back. Over your head. Good, yeah.
She's lassoed herself.
Good, Orts. Yeah, like that, Orts. Woohoo!
Not like that, Kirsty.
Oh my God, it's so hard.
There she was giggling at me, saying, "Oh."
Stand a bit closer. You're never going to get it. You got at some point your wrist will go completely upside down. Might be easy.
And lasso. Now Dani and Autumn have shown us the basic principles and paces of Western riding. How can people get involved in Western with maybe English tack or English horses, or how and when can they get involved?
So I'm the youth officer for the Western Equestrian Society, so that's WES. We're an all-breed society, so anyone can come on any breed of horse. I mean, you've got quarter horses like Cooper, but we have all sorts of cobs, Connemara's, Welsh ponies, and everything that come along. You can have a look at our website, and we have instructors all over the country, and we have shows and events. We call them clinics rather than sort of lessons, and you can come along to those. We also have online events, so in the youth side we have our badge scheme, which is similar to the Pony Club badges, or we also have a summer challenge or a treasure hunt, all sorts of online opportunities if you don't have a horse. For our events, if you want to have a lesson, you don't need to be in Western tack. You can obviously if you want to, moving forward. Our youth riders can also compete in English saddles, things like that, because the Western way people often think is about the tack, but it's actually about your training of your horse. So if you want to start in that tack, that's fine.
Yeah.
We've got a trail scheme for hacking out, so you can clock up your hours riding and earn sort of rewards that way as well.
Okay.
Lots of different ways.
Yeah, so many ways to get involved.
We have a lot of fun youth camps as well.
Yeah.
So we've got one coming up in July, and that'll be a lot of fun. We've got some really good youth instructors.
Yeah.
Everyone's DBS checked, safeguarding checked, and then we have a lot of fun in the evenings as well.
That's always good fun. Gorgeous boy eating some nice grass. Oh, well, thank you so much to both of you and Cooper for showing us everything there is to do with Western. It's been amazing.
That's right.
We've learnt so much. It's been a real learning curve, and I don't think we'll be lassoing anything anytime
No,
soon.
definitely not. Leave it to the experts.
Absolutely. We'll get some practice in and show you up next time maybe.